just for everyone to understand what you're doing at heynanny, could you give us a brief introduction to your organization?
Yeah. So we are the number one corporate benefit when it comes to balancing family and work. So as an example, our customer is Johnson & Johnson. So what they do, they buy us and then they can provide our service to all the employees. And the employees can use it, for example, if they have a shortage in childcare, they can use us, but also for elderly care if their own parents get sick, and every consultancy that comes to family and work.
Okay, great. So when you started this organization, what was the goal that you were trying to achieve?
So basically the goal was that no one has to decide between family and work. And it's your own decision if you want to do both or you want to stay at home, but you can do both.
Okay, interesting. So what do you believe sets your organization apart from other organizations who are in a similar space to you?
You mean what our USPs are?
Yeah, what sets you apart from maybe similar organizations who are offering childcare services and the like?
Yeah. So what is our USP? First of all, we are really German-wide, so also in the rural areas. And now we're going also to Austria and to Switzerland. That's one part. The other part is we are digital, meaning that you can access us or the employees 24/7, and we communicate with them via WhatsApp. And it's super easy to use. You right away get someone and you have the help that you really need at the moment.
So it's direct contact essentially with the caregivers. Okay, really interesting. So what is the most significant moment in your life that led you to want to build this organization?
So I was in an HR position before in a big corporate, and when I saw what is the difference when someone takes care of someone and comes back to work in regards to salary after that, it was a moment where I said, okay, that cannot be that when you have a problem with care, you come back and you get way less salary, your pension gets less and so on. And I said that we need to change that.
So essentially seeing that parents were leaving the workforce to take care of their children, and that was affecting their salaries, and then coming back and making sure you had something in place to avoid that problem. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at your journey a little bit. So obviously this has been quite a journey for you building this organization. What are the biggest sacrifices you've had to make to get to this point in time?
For me, there is not really a sacrifice because I love what I do. But for sure, my life changed. It's different than being in a big corporate, but I love it. So for me, it's not a sacrifice, I would say.
Really interesting. So what about the values of your organization? What values do you inherently drive for your organization with your team, with people you interact with?
So what we did in the beginning, we looked about our values and we did it with the team together. And what is very important for us, that we are a very open organization. So we are really diverse, and the other thing is that we're looking for people who really have the drive and the impact to change something. And that's the people that we attract and that also want to change the problem for the world. And that's what makes us great and the people great.
So how do you put those values into action every day in your organization?
So basically, we give a lot of freedom to our team members so they can decide on their own what to do. And that really drives the business and makes also the impact and the change.
Interesting. So what are your core values? If you could, put them into something that's a bit of a boilerplate, what would those be?
Yeah. So core values is for sure is impact, it's drive, it's change, it's also quality. For our product, but also with the customers, because we want to be really the number one to go to for the part of care.
Interesting. Okay, so let's zoom out then and talk more about you rather than the organization. So on this journey, what have been the biggest challenges or even failures that you've had to face on this way to building a successful organization?
I'm a big fan of failures because otherwise you don't grow, and we had a lot of obstacles in the beginning, and I think it's normal. And I think for me right now the hardest part was to validate the product and to find the right fit. And this is a journey in the beginning, and you need to be very fast and very agile, otherwise you don't make it.
So let's go a little bit deeper into, give us a real example of something, a failure that's pushed you forward and helped you catalyze what you're doing right now.
I mean, it was not a failure, but we started with B2C in the beginning, and then we switched to B2B. And it was a real impact, first of all, to attract investors, but also to get the business scalable and to grow it.
Interesting. And how do you find balancing your work life and your personal life? You see many founders are so driven in their organizations that they can't switch off, 60-hour work weeks. What about you? How do you find that balance as a founder of an organization?
I did a lot of sport when I was a child, and I played ice hockey for many years, also for Austria. And for me, it's easy to find a balance, because balance for me is a lot of sleep. That's key for me, and it's sport. And with that, I always find a balance.
Okay. And you have a family of your own?
Not at the moment,
Not at the moment.
but I'm working on it.
Okay, cool. So what future are you envisioning building? What future do you look to build?
You
with
mean
your
for
work?
me or for the company?
For yourself, for your company, in general, the work that you're doing, what kind of world are you looking to create?
Yeah. Basically, what I want to create is a world where there is no looking at someone who says, I want to stay at home for 3 years, but also for someone who wants to come back after 3 months or 6 months to start working because it's normal. A world where also the father is want to take care of the child. So more equal and also more normal, that you also get external support for the kids and also for the parents, because you cannot do anything on your own.
Success is never built in a silo, is it? All the support that's around us helps us push towards that success. So for people looking to build their own organization, an impact-driven organization, what advice would you give to them?
Just do, because if you don't start, you will not know what will happen. That's one advice. And the other advice, you really need to feel it in your heart to do it, because there's a lot of business cases out there. But if you don't really feel it, you will not wake up every morning and do all the hours and the work. So that's my 2 advices.
Just do it. Sounds a great slogan. Okay, so the final question for you. So if there was like a lasting message that you could leave for the world, what would that message be?
For me, it's be happy every day and do what you love, and that really every day.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you for this interview, Anna. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to collaborating with you in the future. And yeah, let's finish this one up and move on to Stefan. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.